hello there, and welcome to another episode of Talk to the Doctor. And guess what? I'm here today with Kolohe Andino. I want to bring him into the show and tell you this man is a surfer, a dad, and owner of his brand Steko. Welcome to the show, mister.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Come on now.
Excellent. Come on now. So you know what I want to do, brother, is I just really want to kind of start off like tapping into like early roots. Like when's that moment when you remember first loving surfing or being at the, when was your first moment with you on a board or whatever?
I don't know. It's just like you probably, know just how I grew up. Like,
I do.
Better than I do almost,
I mean, I've known you since you were in your mother's stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a trip for me. And you're how old now?
31.
See, that's just insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's incredible. Yeah, but yeah. So you're right. But now I have to ask you because, what's your first memory?
I just kind of remember I don't know,
is it T Street, right? I think.
Well, that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I even before that, I think Shane lived with us.
He did, yeah.
Just like his boards in the living room and all that process with stickering them and drawing on them. And that was even like before me surfing. I think I might have been like 3 or 2 or 3 or whatever, I
think you were like 1.
Yeah, or whatever.
You were 1.
Yeah, I just have a little small memories of that.
I remember those moments well too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were so small. But then there was a moment like where all of a sudden it was like there, but then you kind of were like, I feel like there was this moment where your dad like took you to T Street. For some reason, I remember this moment that was T Street or Rivy or something.
Yeah, I think it was maybe one of my birthdays. It would have been my like 6th or 7th birthday, and I had a green Noah Boudreaux. I think it's still kicking around somewhere in my dad's garage.
Sick.
Yeah, it was like a 5.0 Noah Boudreaux. And I remember like walking into my house and like there it was like the big surprise birthday. I might have been 6.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I'm just guessing.
You were very young.
Yeah. And we took it out that afternoon, and I remember being really scared. It must have been at least 20 foot,
Where?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah,
I'm kidding.
It seemed 20 foot.
I mean, at T Street, it felt like that, but it was probably just high tide and like, I don't know, and I was just scared. And that was just a memory. I don't know. So I must have been 6. I would guess 6.
Okay.
Yeah. You might even have been there, but I know like a lot of my friends were there at the time that were like surfers.
Who?
I don't know. It's
hard to tell. Your boys like Tanner and Luke and those guys?
It was before that.
Yeah, before that. Yeah. That's what I thought.
It was at Trafalgar, so I must have been. Yeah, that's why I think it's.
Oh, when you guys lived on Trafalgar, yeah.
Yeah, because
before that was such a cool house.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, before then I wasn't really like a surfer. I don't think, but maybe I thought I was. I don't know. I just hang with my dad so much. I just thought I was like.
Well, you were.
One of the boys.
You were.
Yeah.
You were fully one of the boys, and you were at the beach before that. I think when you got that first your board moment, I just remember, I don't think I've ever, maybe except for your dad, seen like a Grom just so surf stoked, like just.
Oh, really?
God. Yeah, just like completely, literally obsessed. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's how I still feel. So that's good that it was natural.
It was very natural. Your love of surfing was one of the most pure things I've ever witnessed. Just like your dad. Like, I remember when he got his first surfboard.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Let's get freaky with the doctor.
Yeah. Who was it from?
Well, McElroy and those
Glenn's
guys.
Brother? Or?
Yeah. Well, one of his ones was like given to him by someone. Gave him like a hand me down. It wasn't a new board. He didn't have new boards for a long time, but he had a hand me down from one of our friends. It wasn't me, but it was one of our friends. Like hooked him up with this board, and instantly it was just like fish to water. Like he was around already.
Yeah.
He was already doing his deal.
Bumming quarters.
Yeah, full on. Full on. Like, I remember when I was like, 14 and he was like 6.
Yeah.
And quite amazing times. But yeah, he was, literally quite the character as a Grom, one of the only ones that really kind of flowed with the boys, really. Like, because it was like, we didn't really have Groms. He was like 6 years old, but he was so cool and he just fit in. But we did a lot as our friendship was amazing back then and still to this day.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing,
So what, 60 years of friendship?
50.
50, yeah.
50 years of friendship, amazing. And but anyway, so you're a Grom, you get your first board, you're about 6 as far as your memory is concerned, give or take.
Yeah.
And do you remember any of your like first sessions or like when you really started clicking in? Actually, like
I remember thinking that like I could do little turns, and then I remember thinking that the only way I could like do a turn is if it was off a closeout, because I was just probably going like straight, and then I could just like bank, maybe like pretend bank it off the closeout.
Oh yeah. Off the whitewash.
Yeah, like coming at you, because
Yeah.
I couldn't like tilt it over. And then I remember like summers at my house being like really like pivotal moment, like, with like the hose coming into town.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like Mason was like a big time, huge pro surfer. And I was just like, thought he was so like rad when he came into town, because he's maybe like 4 or 5 years older than me.
Is he really?
So yeah. So he would be.
He's literally like 36 now or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So he would be, if I was like 6.
Yeah, he was already 12.
Yeah, and he had stickers on his board, and he had like friends that were,
All connected.
And I remember the board sprays. It was like all the board sprays that were hot at the time were like the like fades in, so it'd be like red on the rails, and then it would fade into white. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing ever, Yeah, and they were like competing, and I just remember thinking they were like gnarly, crazy pros, When you're 6 years old and you're looking at a 12, 11-year-old, you're like, oh my gosh.
And I remember that look on your face too when you were, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
As a Grom, you were very enamored over all of it around you, but it was all around you and you never got saturated.
Yeah.
You were never saturated. You were never not stoked until, I believe one day you emerged into that.
Yeah.
And you were still that stoked, but it was so focused. You have
it was gnarly,
strong focus in it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, you're around that age and you're all those guys around and it's summer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the hose. And then I'm trying to remember, it was like a big Oakley crew. It was like when surfing was just like exploding. Like it was like, I even remember like Gatorade sent, this is just crazy to me because Gatorade's like never been in the sport, but Gatorade, because my dad was the Oakley guy, sent him like a bunch of Gatorades for the nationals because they wanted like Gatorades around the nationals. I was like, this is crazy. Like, thinking back, because Gatorade doesn't care about surfing at all.
Exactly.
And now I think it's actually hard for any of those organizations to get any sort of sponsorship. So, and back then it was just like, I have like distinct memories of like Keanu Singh, who was like a little bit older than me. He was like a little pro too. He like rode for Fox. He was like he looked like Kalani Robb. And then I remember like the smell of the sunscreen, like Shiseido, like always reminds me of like the Barron family cooking at the Billabong tent at the Point at Lowers. So it was just like all those little things, and I just remember just being like, this is insane. Like, even just like a kid with a board bag at the beach was like cool. I was like, you get to hold a board bag, like, whatever. Just
totally.
So I was just, really, really, I guess, impressionable, but really excited about it all.
Very noticeable to us as well. Like, never was there such a surf stoked drama, and with your dad and the whole thing, it just seemed kind of cool that you never were, you never were saturated. You never were like careless about it. It always blew your mind. And I feel like it also showed your interest. Like we noticed, like, we love to surf, but this kid's like kind of next level. Like, you really were just super wanting to be going to the beach and surf. Like, just super about it. Like, I don't even remember that there was involvement in other sports. I'm sure there was. Did you play other sports as a child?
I know I played t-ball, but I must have been 4 or something. Like,
But quickly it was like,
it was gone for sure. But
just surf.
But there was also a time where I would have to go to my mom's parents' house for like some weeks or maybe a month.
Up north
during summer, and I remember it was like
eggy.
It was just like boof every time because there's no ocean, and I was like, and then by the time I got to a certain age, I'm
not going.
Yeah.
But when you were, I will say maybe one good thing that came out of that. Well, one is to get to spend time with family, but maybe that time away just even pour more gas on the fire.
Oh yeah.
When you came home from that, you're just, right? Instead of being at the beach every single day, you might, you never did. You were always psyched, but even that might just made you just,
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like the kid that, I didn't go to school past 8th grade. Just being honest here. But maybe the kid that goes to school surfs more than the kid that's homeschooled. It's kind of that,
Yeah.
Because you got a schedule and you got to like, bing, bing, bing.
And you got to max out. Yeah. Well, but from what I understand, so you didn't go to school past 8th grade, but did you do some equivalency test or anything? Or
I was like really ahead in math. I was like finished in pre-calc or whatever.
Damn.
So I think that was like good enough to be like a senior or something like that. But then the other stuff, I was just like normal 8th, 9th grader. What happened was I didn't know what I was going to do. So I just went to San Clemente High School. I actually went for one day. And then the
9th
next
grade, one day.
Yeah. I was like,
oh my God.
I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to like, be a pro surfer, and I had sponsors and like trips and all the stuff lined up. And I got sick that night. I remember I ate like a bunch of Oreos, and I was playing Guitar Hero with Ian in the garage. We ate like a whole pack of Oreos, and I must have got sick from that or something else. And I started like throwing up. And then I was like, oh, I can't go to school. And I didn't go to school for like a week.
And then you just clicked out.
Well, no. And then the Boost Mobile Pro is in town.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I got to watch that.
There's another 10 days or
yeah,
something,
so it's
right?
like another 15 days. I'm like, okay. And then I just never went back. So it was just, yeah, that was it.
And like, so you just, I'm literally speaking to a man that has a barely ninth grade education.
Yeah.
But you were educated by traveling the world. And
Yeah,
living
yeah.
your life.
Yeah. And,
You know, it's not really from the books.
No, totally. No. Yeah.
Amazing.
I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Pretty sure that was a story for your dad as well. I don't think he made it much further than that.
Yeah. He
Pretty
was,
sure.
There was like a point where when I qualified or like right before I qualified or something, like I kind of had some like pressure to go back and like get my GED or whatever.
Pressure from who?
I think it was my parents.
Yeah.
Just to like do it and just like say I have it.
That.
Yeah. In case like,
you know,
whatever happens.
Just to have it, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, I remember I was like, it was like this, like I had to I like went back to school to like a tutor to like try to study for the test and then pass it.
Okay.
And I was like relearning all this stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I can't do it. Like, you know, and like get ready for the tour or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
And you know how much I love surfing. So I'm like
Yes.
surfing, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. And I'm trying to like get ready for the tour, work out, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then go to get tutored 5 hours a day. I'm just
geography.
Like, I remember actually like that. Maybe that was my first like feelings of anxiety.
Totally. Oh my God, that's a good recollection. Yeah, because I feel like now. Let me ask you this: so you surfed in the NSSA?
Yeah.
Didn't they require a little bit of schooling to do that?
Yeah. No, I surfed it till I was 15, so I think that was the same.
Right on the time when you
Yeah.
said, you know, peace to the high school. You're like saying hi to the tour, and you're saying, you know, see you later, Mrs. So-and-so teacher. But yeah, no, that's cool too, because you didn't really have the sports you were involved in. So it was all about surfing, and the path was set. Somewhere between this time when you're around 6 and the time when you kind of say got involved with the NSSA, there was a period of years where, tell me if I'm wrong, but your dad would kind of drag you at spots around the world, just go, yeah, I want my son with me.
Yeah, well, that was early.
Yeah.
You know, I think even last night I was watching football at his house, and he was like, I used to just take you everywhere. Like I won Morro Bay, and we were like skating in the parking lot before the final. So he was just with me all the time.
Or
I was with him all the time.
You were, and I remember that, and I feel like that kind of helped lay the foundation as well for you to have a different life. You know, the path was set. Your dad was a pro surfer, kind of a very enigmatic personality. You know, very social, knows everyone, very likable guy.
Nobody doesn't.
He's just a very likable guy.
Well, it's
right?
funny.
So
I mean, everywhere I go, usually it's like the gnarliest looking locals, like, you know, whatever, angry face, tattoos, big guys, fat guy, like the guys you're like, don't burn him, you know. Like this happens a lot. Like I'm not even kidding you, like probably 90% of the time, you know, up and down the coast and even around the world, I'll be getting ready, getting changed, or I'll be in the lineup like, okay, don't mess with that guy. Like he's kind of the, you know, when you're in the lineup, it's like it's like almost like a caveman setting where you're kind of like, you know, you're like,
totally.
Yeah, he's the alpha. Okay, he gets his wave. I can get over here. Okay, that guy, he looks like a kook. I can get around him. You know, so you know what I mean? You know, you're like calculating all this.
It's the whole surf reality, like, you know,
Yeah, so I'm like doing that, and then the gnarliest guy, you know, like the Rufo looking guy or whatever, you know, Rufo's my boy.
We love Rufo. Yeah.
But like he's paddling up to me, or he's coming up to me after a session, and I'm thinking, oh, what did I do? Did I something? You know,
like, say hi to your dad.
And he's going like, hey man, where's your dad? I haven't seen him in 20 years. He used to have the fucking best weed, and he'd come up the coast.
Oh
and
my
fucking,
God.
Yeah. You know,
so funny. Yeah.
Like a lot, at least 50 times in my life, like crazy. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and the path was laid socially too because of his nature as well.
Yeah. Socially,
he's
like
a likable guy.
Yeah,
He's just really deep in his soul as someone who's curious and likes to just check in, and like he's just so like got this way. He's always had that way, right? He's like, people are who they are, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. The root is set early, you know, like it's just so cool. And so you know, being his son, you got to kind of come under that, through that. And, you know,
so socially it was huge for me, all that, because I'm not as much that way. I'm a little bit more earn it. you know?
Yes.
And he's just like, you know, like people walk up to him and tell him their life story like right away.
Incredible.
Somehow he'll just pull it out of
It's
them.
amazing.
Yeah. So going into these towns and these like surf spots, I was just like naturally accepted just because I was either with him or his son, you know,
because
so
of the
it was rad.
foundation he laid in his life coming from, you know, just like me. He didn't have anyone
Yeah.
like no one in my family surfed before me.
Yeah.
No one in his family surfed before. You know, he was the seed of spark, and that Stoke.
Yeah.
You know, we were stoked, just so stoked to be doing it. You know, so I don't know. It all comes about. You know, I just feel like the Stoke part is a big part as you look at the whole feeling of surfing. It's really about how good it feels. It's such a rad thing, sport, lifestyle. Just so lucky to be able to be, you know, kind of like brought into it, or however we got there. You know?
Yeah.
So you're at that time you're traveling, you know, you're going up and down the coast. Your dad's taking you all over, and then at one point, which I'm not sure what point that was, but at what point do you remember being where you clicked into going, okay, now I'm going to jump in a heat?
Like, when did I first start competing, or when was I like
first start
jumping
competing.
in a heat to try to?
No, first start competing, and then we'll get to the when it became qualifying.
When I first started competing, I was like, I think I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Okay,
yeah,
like
so
WSA type stuff.
the first event I ever did, I was, I think it was like, they used to be called O'Neill Kids Are All Right.
Okay.
I don't know how I remember this stuff.
But I'm stoked you do. That's rad.
And it was at Golden West Street. And actually Mason
wow.
was there. Yeah. So Mason did like he must have done like the 10 and under, and I was doing like, or he did the 12 and under and I did the 10 and under or something.
Sick.
Yeah. So I remember that. And he did both divisions. I did 1 or 2. So it was just like
kind of your first foray into.
It was the first event where I was like,
wow.
It was for sure my first event. I know that.
Sick.
Where I put jersey on, paddle out. They used to not have push in. Now they have the push in thing, which I think is so weird.
What's pushing?
So like so now they have like an 8-year-old kid. Their dad will swim out with them and push him in. Yeah. So that was the first time I like had to like
whatever
do it. You know?
Yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah.
I mean, Grom, you have to really.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. So
they have to do that. That's great. Yeah.
So,
I always trip on
it's
it.
a trip on, yeah.
And I've been vocal about that to like parents who do it,
Yeah,
and they're like, well, maybe you never know. You might be pushing in your daughter one day or something. I'm like, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
you never know.
I don't know. It reminds me of something where, you know, Conrad. Do you know Conrad? Anyway, so it's a friend of your dad and I's.
The chef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, a decade or so ago, is Grom's playing at Pop Warner. It's the first time I ever encountered this. Grom's playing Pop Warner at San Clemente High School.
Yeah.
CJ.
Yes.
And he's a Grom though.
Yeah.
He's older, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
And he's in a little Pop Warner game, and I walk up to go see to go see CJ play, and Conrad and a couple of the boys are there, and I walk up first thing, like it's like end of the first quarter, you know. I walk up, first thing out of my mouth, like, yeah, hey, what's the score?
Yeah.
And Conrad's like, oh, they don't keep score. And I go, no. I mean, just like your dad, you know, and you know how he'd be, just like that. I go, no. Like, no, what's the score? Like, I think I asked him like 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. I don't comprehend what that means.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, they haven't scored yet? Like, it's still zeros?
Yeah.
And he goes, KV, they don't keep score. And I swear to you, I must have looked like,
They
you know, when a
don't?
dog goes like, I was like, what? What do you mean? And so he tells me, up to a certain age, you don't score. I go, I don't even know what you mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess it's
Is that
some
still a
theory.
thing?
I think so. I think it's some theory when under a certain age, they feel like it'll, you know, affect their self-esteem. I'm like, yeah, it should affect your self-esteem, because the whole point is if you lose, you get pissed and you want to win.
Yeah,
And you figure out how to win. But if everyone gets a trophy just for showing up, which they call nowadays,
Participation.
yeah, it's so
trophy.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point is, I mean, that's all cute and all, but I mean, the thing is, winning and losing is really healthy.
Yeah.
And then if it's so bad for your self-esteem, well, lift it up, pal.
Yeah.
Like, come on, thicken your skin a little bit, dig in, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, God, so anyway, I'm relating that to that in a little bit of sense, right? This whole new, whatever it is, this whole new agenda where they just all have all these psychologists figuring it out. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know. You won or lost. So do you remember how you did on that first contest?
No, I think I made the final.
Sick.
Yeah, it's got
First contest,
6th
you
or
made the
whatever.
final and
made one heat
you placed.
and got 6th or whatever. Yeah.
Still, but it gave you like, wow.
No, yeah, it was cool.
Stuff.
Well, I mean, it's just back to the Mason thing or like the pro surfer thing. I just felt like I was a pro, and I was like, this is like the sickest thing ever. Yeah.
Which
it would
really
be so
is
interesting
cool.
to like watch me now. Like
Oh, when you see
myself.
the footage?
No, like just like if I could go back in time as me now and watch myself when I was 7.
That would be insane.
I mean, sure, I'm sure everyone wants to do that, but
Yeah.
just how like cool I felt, and then like, you know, was I like cocky or brash or like just excited? Or
no,
like,
you were just excited.
You
I
know
don't
what I
think
mean?
you were cocky or brash.
Yeah, you know what? You know,
You
like
weren't like that at all.
because
You were super psyched.
yeah. That's what my dad says. You know?
I don't remember you actually ever really being cocky or brash. I just remember you just wanting it so bad.
Yeah.
The gleam in your eye was like just so intense. It was pretty inspiring to us because, you know, we're older, me and Fatty and the boys. We grew up and there wasn't even, you know, there was no money in surfing. You surf because you love it, you know, and that was it, you know, and that was kind of a kook thing too for us in our 70s generation. I was like, yeah, right, whatever. Well, you need a trophy. We just surf for the feeling. But then it emerged, and your dad was kind of part of that generation that emerged. When it came from like more like soul surfing, no money in it, just kind of you love to do it. And then it became kind of where you could turn pro. And your dad was kind of at the forefront of that movement when he was young. He could see that there was a way to, you know, maybe make a living at that. Yeah. Which is pretty cool because otherwise you're digging ditches or working in a restaurant or, you know, there wasn't a lot of opportunity in San Clemente. There was nothing here, really, you know? So it's kind of cool to witness that.
But surfing was big early, like beach blanket bank, all that stuff, like all that. But
still no money in it.
It was corny or what was?
It was super corny. Well, no, the movies were corny.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back to that era. It was a really cool area. That's when I was a Grom and looking at what it was.
Yeah.
No, that was like you won a trophy.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't going to go
pay your house off.
You weren't even going to pay your rent.
Yeah.
Like, and rent was cheap. Like, there was no money in surfing. You get a trophy, you'd get social status. It was cool. You got sponsors give you trunks, you know. Like, there was no money in it. So it wasn't a viable thing until, I want to say, really, I think the PT and Ian Cairns thing, you know, when they kind of formulated this, you know, which at the time was called the ASP.
Yeah.
And they formulated this thing 75, 76 era right in there, to kind of have the dream of going, well, hey, man, I mean, tennis players make money. Why can't surfers make money?
Yeah.
Right. And then they kind of put sponsors together in this whole tour. But before that, it wasn't even kind of considered cool. It was kind of considered like jock energy. Yeah. Compared to like surfers are kind of more like rebel. Like,
well, there was a dark ages after the beach blanket
big time
bingo thing, right? Like
late 60s through with the advent of psychedelic energy and all that, there became a very like it was more art, music, rebel, like people surfed and traveled. It wasn't even like I want to get a trophy. It was more like I want to go to El Salvador, you know, I want to go to some trippy country and just live in the bushes to surf, you know?
Heavy localism then, right?
Full on.
Yeah.
Localism was powerfully the thing.
Yeah.
Like every spot had their boys, and the beach culture was really alive and well. Rent was cheap, gas was cheap, food was cheap. People could afford to work a couple days and be at the beach all the time.
Yeah.
And they surfed. They loved to surf, but there was no money in it. They didn't want trophies. They didn't care. They wanted to get the best wave. And it really did, I think, in a lot of ways.
Sounds like boogie boarding right now.
It really was in a lot of ways a time when surfing evolved, like the boards evolved during that time, even the shortboard revolution and all this stuff happened to the point where once it became pro, God, the performances had lifted. Yeah. Like in that time of like when there was guys like Larry Bertleman and Buttons Kolohe Andino and just all these guys from Hawaii and like, you know, BK and Jeff Hackman. So all the Reno and all these guys that were surfing these contests. It was like maybe there was $500 in it or something.
Yeah.
But what happened is the boards and everything evolved for the passion of surfing.
Yeah.
Everyone shaped their own boards.
Yeah.
And they had these distinct styles, and then pretty soon it became where they developed the tour, and then that kind of did start the spark of what we see today.
Yeah.
And the highs and lows of what that's gone through, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit here coming up. But when you were coming up, do you recall when you were Grom, like people that you were influenced by that you might have? You've mentioned Mason quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, just Mason was like, you know, like my first, I guess, look at like what a pro surfer could be, you know.
And still,
besides Shane, because Shane was like parallel
older
to my dad.
Yes.
You know, in my brain.
So a Grom, like, you know, not a man, like still a boy, but older than you, but someone you looked up to as like, well, he's not a man yet, but damn.
Yeah, like that's sick. Like,
yeah, I want that. Boy.
He's got stickers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
is there anyone else, like even around town or just in your life that you saw surfing or different, you know, besides your dad? Well, it could be your dad's friends too. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, I think because of my dad's relationships and his job. Really, I do distinctly remember like there's like a couple guys. There's like Corey, Wardo, and Taj and Andy. Those guys were like always around, and I do remember like super early stages. Like we went and surfed with Taj, and I have like a weird name. Like even nowadays, someone asked me my name today, and today, and sometimes I'll just start laughing. Because I think it's a fuck name, like Kolohe. Like it's just weird. It's not like Dave or whatever, like or Joseph or whatever. Some people might like it, but I actually like my name because it's unique, but it's just funny. It's just like everyone's always like, huh?
Yeah. So because your look doesn't befit maybe directly what sounds kind of, is that like
it's Hawaiian?
Hawaiian.
Yeah. So, anyways, I remember Taj. He remembered my name, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sick.
Totally.
Yeah. And then I think that was like right around Montage. This is like this is like fuzzy memories, but I remember Montage. It was his second film. It came out, or no, it was about to come out, and Andy had rode for MCD, and we went up to Chucky's house because Andy was staying with Chucky, and because my dad was just in this inner circle, like whatever, Taj just wanted to show the movie to Chucky, my dad, and Andy, and maybe one or two other people. God, that was
such a sick movie too, man.
Yeah, Montage is just insane.
So
and
sick.
I remember we watched it at Chucky's house in Newport, and I was just like, that's it. That's my guy, Taj Burrow.
And I
remembered my name. Yeah. He remembered my name, and
you love the way he surfed.
Yeah, and you watch that movie now. It's
still hot.
It's incredible.
It's amazing now.
Yeah. And the way they edit it, they have like. He's doing a floater and it's like a grind on a skateboard noise. Like it's just like it was so like perfect for the kids. And
very youthful and edgy and
Andy was so pissed off about it that he actually went and rode for Billabong after that. Because Billabong made that movie. And I remember surfing. We went and surfed out in front of his house. It must have been right by river jetties or something. And I remember I did like a long floater, and those guys were like, "Oh, sick floater!"
Oh my god!
So I don't know the dates. I might be like 7 years old or something, 7 or 8 years old. Mm-hmm. You can't say 6 or 7 anymore because the whole fucking kids ruined it. So I'll just go 7 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so I just remember all that, and then I actually remember Andy, and I remember Chucky, and I remember Taj. Like, so those when I met those guys, I didn't know
Chucky.
Chucky is Logan Julian, who made the Snap movies.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, he's the filmmaker.
Yeah. So
you're at the filmmaker's house. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. He didn't make Montage, but he made all the snaps.
Oh, okay.
And he was just friends with those guys.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Damn.
They did 5. Yeah.
Good Lord, this guy's on a roll. But no, let's call that a seminal moment in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
that's insane.
That was big. Yeah.
That was big. And then Taj, I knew you always just really were psyched on Taj. Cool to actually get under the underbelly of why, but I always just knew he was so sick anyway. Why wouldn't you be? But there was some real deep personal stuff. They remembered your name, his movie, the whole thing, how he surfed. They commented on your surfing. You were ripping by then. I'm just saying, for your age, you were doing good.
Doing a floater.
That's sick, right?
A lot
of kids don't even got a freaking board by then.
No, totally.
So pretty cool. And I think they took to you too because they kind of, I think, saw your Stoke.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This goes without saying. When you're like up there and they're going to see this kid just, super stoked, like just, that's not that's not really common.
Yeah. And
right?
I think
especially
my dad was
childhood.
My dad was pretty gnarly on like me being like polite and that sort of thing too.
Yeah.
So I think I was like a pretty polite kid.
Definitely.
So being polite and stoked is like, I could see if I saw a kid like that, I would be like psyched on him.
Yeah. Isn't that, I would say next generation, Waylon is kind of like that.
Yes. Waylon is so good. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. He's like so charismatic, stoked,
thankful, respectful, funny. It's just mind blowing.
He can do anything.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's such a chip off your guys' block. It just blocks my shocker. Seriously, he's such a cool guy.
Yeah.
I relate to him like that too. Right?
Totally.
I don't think that he's about that with skating more than surfing, right?
Yeah, he's super passionate about skating. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But so that whole Grom Stoke thing, and so that kind of covers who might influence, who you kind of were tripping on when you were younger. And then as we move forward, would you say there was anyone from around town that was, do you remember anyone like from just different spots around town? Like certain guys surf Rivy, or certain guys surf the pier, or certain guys surf uppers, or was there anyone like local surfers that you remember going, damn?
Well, I do remember like it must have been right around that time or maybe just a little bit later, because I was, everything's making sense about you saying about how stoked I was on surfing, because I would be in the water at dark as long as I could, and I was always 15 minutes late to school.
Yep.
So, and then as soon as school got out, I would go back until dark, and like my rule was with my parents, if like the lights came on at the pier, then I had to be in. So it's like,
Perfect.
That's good, right?
Yeah,
it's old school style.
And then you lived at T Street, so you could just run up to the.
Just skate down, run down, whatever. But I remember early in the morning, I do remember the 𝑘𝑙𝑒𝑠𝑠. I do. Yeah, and they're like, I think Pat's turning 40 pretty soon, so he was 9 years older than me. So yeah, if I was 8 years old,
he was 17.
Yeah. And then also the McElwees. Do you remember?
Of course.
Yeah.
And
they were like kind of pros then too for the high school era. Like, they had stickers and stuff, and like I think they had like red, white, and blue sprays. I can't believe I remember this stuff.
It's true, they did. Yeah, and they're all kind of ripped and really focused athletes on it. There's a few guys like that, but definitely the G brothers and also the McElwees for sure. I can see that as a Grom. They're like, whoa.
Yeah. And then I'm just thinking like, obviously like Yeomans and Robo and like that crew, they were like a little bit older, so they were kind of like
definitely
in my brain just like, I guess, classified as my dad's age.
Oh,
because they're like,
well, they're moving that way, but
when you're 8 years old, if you're like 22, you might as well be
as old as my dad.
My dad.
Yeah, that's so classic. Yeah, Nate just came in and did an episode recently. It's gonna be really cool.
Sick.
Such an awesome guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just such an awesome guy. I talked to him a little bit like, what's up with Nasty Nate? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and we
still
talked
around?
about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, is Nate showing up? What's going on?
Yeah.
But anyway, no, he was just great to talk to. And obviously someone really positive from our town. I mean, I don't know. Just a really, someone that also I've, in my training aspect, he was someone that came early and worked with me. And just we have a real bond and around that kind of thing, because he knows how hard I push on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like he always gave me like some sort of credit to go, man, that was a good moment for me,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Caveman's a freak show.
It's a freaky show. So the thing is like, now as we get to that point where now we're really are clicked in.
Yeah.
We're a Grom, we see our path. And at what point do we then go to, I'm viably on the NSSA or something? Like, when does it click into like, hey bro, this is a full-time gig?
I don't know. I mean, I remember like being super young and being like really angry that I lost, because I just always like, maybe it just goes back to that pro thing where you're just like, I just always thought like, winning the rankings at the end of the year for like mini Groms was like, I compared it to like winning the world title. Like
totally.
It just felt like the same. Like
it was the world title.
Yeah, like 10 events.
Grom world title.
Me and Luke Davis and Jesse Steelman and Whitman Badwell, like we're going for the world title. I'm in the whatever.
The Grom world title.
Yeah, and then nationals was like even higher than that because like everyone came together. But I just always like compared it to that, and I was like just naturally really competitive and hated the feeling of losing. And yeah, I don't know. So I guess I was clicked in early, super early.
You were definitely
8,
clicked
9,
in super
10,
early.
Whatever. Like I just compared it to that, and I would, treat it like that.
At what stage did it then become an organization like the NSSA? Because I'm pretty sure you did really well at that one. So
Yeah.
where that really does become a title.
Yeah. Well, the first year I made the final. I think I got 5th. But how's this final for the first NSSA Nationals finals? It was John won, Andrew Doheny got 2nd, Carissa Moore got 3rd.
Huh?
Evan Geiselman got 4th.
Oh, you guys surf boys and girls
10 and
in
under,
the same heat?
10 and under.
10 and under, it's all boys and girls?
Evan Geiselman, 4th. Me, 5th. Ezekiel Lau, 6th.
Damn.
How crazy is that? There's got to be a photo of that somewhere.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Do you remember what year that was?
I want to say 2005, but it wasn't. Must have been, if I was 8 years old, it would have been 1994, would have been 2002.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right in there somewhere?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a who's who of what was coming after it.
Right? I know, it's sick, huh?
And I just heard, speaking of Chris, I just literally read something yesterday that she's making a return.
Yeah.
That's surprising, but cool.
Yeah,
hey,
great for her.
She's recharged and wants to have her kid. She wants to get back on tour. I mean, I had heard that she was done.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but now she had a kid and has the kid and wants to take her and her husband on tour and go see what she can do. We all know she's extraordinary, but hey, I mean, there's a whole new crop of like young, it's going to be an interesting thing to see. But okay, so now you're kind of first year in the NSSA, you made 5th.
Yep.
And you're 15?
No.
Under 10s.
I was 8.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, so
yeah, we're really stuck there. Sorry. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah.
It's all good. So how many NSSA, how did you, let's just comprise the whole NSA. You went from 8 till how old? Did you go all the way till?
Well, I did the prime and the U.S. champs until I was like 17.
10 years on the NSSA.
Yeah. Well, I stopped NSSA when I was 15, so that was.
Yeah. Okay, 8 years.
That was 8 years
7
there.
or 8 years.
Yeah, and then, towards the end of my NSSA thing, like the NSSA was kind of fading because the WSA, or it's called USA Surfing now, got the lowers permit. So it was like you wanted to be at lowers, so that was like fading away, and then And actually, the year I qualified for the tour, I won national or the U.S. title at lowers. So same year.
Same year you qualified. I remember seeing you at that contest on Phillips Island or something.
Yeah.
There was a contest.
Kangaroo Island.
Yeah. I think it was after that it was you qualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
You smoked. You did super good that year.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of those, I was like watching, I've watched all your heats in your life, and it's like as many as I can,
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
No, I love it. It's
stress.
like my best friend's son.
Yeah.
It's like I can't help it. To be honest. Here's why. It's just like a football game. Like, I don't want to know the score and then watch it. I want to see it unfold.
Go down. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's times where it's on the other side of the world, and I'm kind of nocturnal anyway. So I'm up at like 3 and then 4 in the morning going, oh, one more heat, and so sun's rising. I'm like, but I just can't help it. Like, it's, it's personal.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just personal. So you're welcome. But it's just my passion too is, I'm watching my best friend's son. I'm watching my friends when they were doing it. It's just such a cool thing with the way the modern technology allowed that.
Yeah.
I mean, that too. It's all happened before my very eyes when you used to have to wait like 3 months to see a magazine photo.
Yes.
And now you can see it live from some remote place. Just go, oh my God.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting from the visual end. But anyway, so can we just comprise your NSSA tour and say how many titles, how did you do on that, by the way? I'm pretty sure it was really good.
I think I had 9 NSSA and 5 USA or whatever it's called. They used to be called U.S. champs.
Okay, the U.S. champs. The
I had
NSSA.
5 of those, and I had 9 of the other. Yeah.
Good Lord. Okay. So I mean, I think that laid the foundation to say, okay, this kid's pretty stoked on competing, and it seems to be going good for him. And then we want to say, you were already reaching out to qualify by 17 years old.
17, yeah.
And you qualified at 17 years old.
Yeah. Or I guess beginning of that year I was 16. So yeah.
16, qualified at 17 onto the CT.
Yeah. So first 2 events I was 17, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing stuff. Like that's amazing stuff. It really is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, and then, a little bit about like, that, and so you competed on the CT from 17 through what?
I think it was like 11 or 12 years if you count the COVID year or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we counted it all because that's not our fault. The COVID freak
years,
show. Yeah. So let's say, you competed from like 17 to 29. I mean, you were on there for a solid decade or more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fully just, traveling the world, just, and I would say if we could, as a Grom, you're looking up to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get there. What was that like for you? I'm sure that's a very generalized question.
Yeah.
But it's always interested to me to, kind of hear from that side of it. Like, what was that, what was it like?
Looking back on the tour, I think, especially the early years, it forced me to have to grow up really, really quick because I was competing against 30-year-old men with 3 kids or whatever, like Joel Parkinson and Kelly and Mick and
right out of
even
the gate.
Taj.
Right out of the gate.
Taj was around, for like the first 4 years I was on tour, we competed a lot together.
Insane.
And I had more heats with Bede Durbridge than Bede had with Mick. So I was just competing against men and I was a 17-year-old kid. Now looking at 17-year-old kids, I just can't believe that I did that or was even somewhat competitive. But at the same time, I was so competitive against my peers because John and Gabriel were doing so good.
Yeah.
Because they're only like a year older than me.
They're a year older?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Gabriel might be 6 months, and I think John is like maybe like a year and a half. So it's like in that realm.
Right in your pocket.
Yeah, and they were doing so good, and I won all those QSs, and then I got to the tour, and then I was like, and then I just got my ass kicked, and they were like top 4 in the world, like both of them, John and
Gabriel.
Yeah, and Gabriel, and they're like 19 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah, they're a couple years, between a year and 2 years above you, and you're looking at them because they're kind of your peers in a way.
Yeah,
and they're kind of crushing it, and you're on the tour like young, going, man,
like I could do it too. Like they're doing it, and then I just got my ass kicked, and then so I was always like.
But you stayed on tour.
I stayed on tour the whole time, which was kudos, I guess. Yeah. But I was so competitive with them that I always felt like I was failing. Whereas I feel like if it was just me, then I'd be like, oh, I'm young and I got years and all that stuff.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it was all like sort of, I guess, that going on. A certain amount of
like almost like pressure from the idea that your peers, within a year or two, are doing what they were doing, and then you're there going, well. You kind of compare yourself to that inevitably.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You've spent your whole life loving to surf. Now you've come through the ranks. You've qualified, just handsomely qualified to the point of like mind-blowing for all of us.
Yeah.
Kid's 17, he qualified. We were, wow. I mean, we knew you had the talent, but it was just like doing it.
Really? It was like, yeah. I was even like, oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, wow.
I think maybe that was the worst part about it. It was that like every stage I went through seemed like easy. And I never had like some people have like, I want to be a world champ when I'm, when they're like 9 years old and they, whatever, I never had that like world champ thing, I was just like, I love surfing. I love competing. Let's just contest, and just do that. But yeah, I don't know. It just, everything was easy. Like that actually year I qualified, like it was like the way the ASP was structured, they basically made it impossible for someone to qualify because they were ranking the tour guys versus the guys on the QS, and it was a one world ranking system. So if you won a tour event, this is hypothetical, I don't remember the exact numbers. If you won the tour event, you got 100,000 points. And if you won a challenger event, you got 40,000 points.
Yes.
So it was like the rankings was all congested together and like on this one world ranking system, and you had to finish in the top 32 of that, but you couldn't compete on the tour. So like a guy would make one heat on the tour, on
the CT.
Yeah, and you'd have to get like a semis to beat him on a challenger. You'd have to make 6 heats or whatever. And then at the time, it was a lot of the same guys. So you're competing against a lot of the tour guys in the challenger
because they were trying to make sure they were going to requalify if they didn't make the top 20.
Yeah. So it was like I won all these events and got all these results, and I was like, oh, this is easy, and then I qualified.
Yeah, it seemed to be honest. It seemed we were watching. It seemed easy to us too. We're like, God, brother's just holy crap. He's just better than that. I mean, just whatever. You just love surfing so much. You surf so intently. And it just, you really had the skill and the mindset and the stoke. It was all evident, it all came from that stoke.
Yeah, well, it was a particular time in surfing too, where they were scoring airs really high, and I was like good at them. So I wasn't like. Now it's like they don't. I don't know. It's like now it's like they judge wave size more, and it used to be like a lot more. I don't want to say the wrong word, but like difficulty. Like I have some heats when I was younger where I could take off, halfway out, do a big air, and they'd be like,
and get big scores.
8.5, Now they'll be like 5.83.
Yeah, they won't give you that big score on a big air on a smaller set.
Yeah. So
somehow things have evolved that way. I think because to some degree, as exciting as airs used to be, there was a time when it was just so like, oh my God. Like now they're a little saturated with it.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to say, we'd still love to see that on a set wave.
Yeah.
Put it all together in the degree of difficulty, which now you see a lot of carving being like a guy like Ethan Ewing or something, just surfs really good. But like I don't feel like there's any X factor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the judges, they're human. This is just another.
Sure. Whole nother
cloud over here, but just to skim over it. I think the judges are human, and they naturally have a story for each person. And whatever that story is, they blanket it over their score.
I agree.
So it's kind of like
you can see it.
They're just humans, whatever.
You could see it.
But anyways, timing-wise, for me to qualify, air reverses was just like, I could get them on lock and I could just get scores really quick. And it was like kind of right before everyone was doing them.
Yeah.
And then I was like on tour.
You're right. No, that's fair to say. I think that's a really eloquent way to put exactly what that is and what that was, which gives you all the credit to be one of those guys early on, you know, being able to do all that kind of surfing, because your rail surfing, your barrel riding were right there too. It wasn't like you were some trick guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you were really
I was
surfing.
small, you know, whatever.
You were light,
yeah.
but I'm saying, you know, you were, you know, I'm just saying you weren't like there's guys that, you know, I don't want to mention names. There's guys that, you know, just surf ugly and do an air.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, then there's, you know, I would recall very, very clearly so many times being at the, you know, when I'd be kicking it with your dad and he'd be, you know, screaming at you from the beach or the pier or whatever. And he was very much interested in making sure your fundamentals were very intact.
Yes.
So there was a time when I remember you were really, you know, I was somewhere in your teens, early teens, where you were just real excited about getting gnarly with airs.
Yeah.
Like you were really exploring that. And then I remember that he was too, and it was cool or whatever. But I remember that moment when he was kind of came back around and said, no, but you've really got to get your fundamentals. Like he really worked with you on your fundamentals. And I remember moments where he'd be like, you know, you and him would battle some. And I remember that too. And I used to talk to him and go, dude, I mean, he's kind of crushing it, and like back off on the kid a little bit, you know? But he's like, you know, and I would just get, but the truth is, that was good, because when the time was that you were able to do those maneuvers, your fundamentals were absolutely on point too.
Oh, thanks.
So
yeah.
There was no trip on your carving or barrel riding or front side, back side. It was all there.
Yeah.
So that was the icing on the cake. There was a solid cake there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like you were undeniable.
Yeah.
You know, at that point. And then you go on tour and there's all this dimensional reality. There's traveling. There's, you know, there's
different
judges,
waves.
There's different waves,
Yeah.
there's different, you know, there's all these gnarly people on
all
tour.
these alphas.
Fully
Yeah.
alpha out.
Peak alpha.
Full
mode.
alpha time, you know.
I mean, for me to think that Andy Irons died in 2010 and I was on tour in 2012, like I was competing against his peers.
Crazy.
That's just crazy.
Did you ever get to compete against him?
No. I competed in an event he was in.
Yeah.
But John had a heat with him at that event at Lowers.
Damn.
It was like a 4-man heat, and
Yeah.
I think John beat him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just recalling all that, because that's like 15 years ago?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But so you make the tour, you're on tour. We all know that's a really grind. Like that's just, you know, I mean, you take a trip. It's always blown my mind that how much guys travel, and then they got to surf in heats, and they got to get ready. They got to get their place all dialed in. They got to jet lag, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Just, and then, you know, you're surfing in front of you. You've been used to it your whole life. You surf in front of people, but it's still, I think, you know, when people critique surfing that have never like really actually been in a heat.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling this to your dad the other day. I go, you know, when we used to watch the fights over here, and I had a couple like pro fighters that would be watching with us.
Yeah.
And we aren't pro fighters.
Yeah.
Right? And we'd be sitting there with all our opinionations, you know, just, oh shit, he could have, should have, would have. Oh man, that guy.
Can't
you know.
believe he, yeah.
And then we got like pro fighters in the house listening, us guys never pro fought.
Yeah.
It's probably like a trip for them to hear all our opinionations, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a movie critic that never made a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, it's like, it's just weird.
Yeah,
like you read these movie critics and you're like, you never made it. You're so critical.
Yeah.
Shut up. Did you ever make a movie? I'm saying, so the thing is about surfing is like, there's that part of it, right? So there's the part of like, okay, like I've just always wanted to know that judges had to be really good surfers and really contemporary.
Yeah.
I've always also believed in commentators. Like you'll see certain sports and the guy was a pro football player.
Yeah.
I love that. And then he's sitting next to some guy that's like never played pro football.
Yeah.
You know, and he's probably real good and went to broadcasting school or whatever. And he's got those skills.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but I love it when Tom Brady's it. I love it when Tom Brady's it.
Yeah. Tony Romo.
Insane.
Chris Collinsworth. Yeah.
I love it.
All
I love
that
it.
stuff,
I eat it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so a little bit of that in our sport where it's out, you know, there's all these elements to it, right? You spend a lot of years on tour. And from what I understand, you know, you're at the stage of your life now where you've done the tour.
Yeah.
And, you know, for over a decade, 11 or 12 years. 12?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
11 or 12 years. At least, you know, a solid decade and more.
Yeah.
Here you are now, you know, in a sense, in a new chapter. So would it be fair to say you're done with that?
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done competing. Yeah. I boiled it down to I can't stand being away from my kids. Just that easy.
So cool, man.
Yeah. And as rad as being on the tour is, it's like, it's pretty shallow too, obviously.
Totally.
My competitive surfing wasn't my whole surfing relationship. You know, like I surf a lot still. Like I need to for my, it's like medicine for me.
Totally.
So I was just kind of just trying to figure it out the last couple of years, you know.
Yeah.
And I had my daughter, you know, she's going to be 4, so it was like 4 years ago. And I was just like trip on like leaving because I would just like miss something, and or I'd miss her. I'd just miss holding her, or the way she ran towards me when I came home, just all the little things, you know. And I just couldn't stop thinking like, am I going to compete and like get stuck in that thing? And then I knew
your kids are 10 and they missed out on all these
and they're
years.
gone. They're with their friends, and I'm on tour and I'm 36 and I'm like, don't even care anymore. Like,
yeah.
And for me to like compete at that level, and for me to like get my mind right to like be world beater,
Sure.
I had to like die to the sport. Like I had to just
Yeah.
go all in, you know, like all day, every day, training, surfing, eating perfect, all that stuff. And now I'm just like, let's just go have an ice cream, babe. Like it's just like,
So
you know what I mean? Like, so, and the brand thing was taken off, and I've always wanted to do that. And I've always felt, been into art and photography and all that stuff. So it goes good with making films and the movies and all that stuff. And it was going good, and it's going really good. So I was just like, let's just do that and see how that goes and have fun, and I'll be able to wake up next to my kids.
Which is such a beautiful story.
Yeah,
Such
thanks.
a beautiful story. You know, the part about like you're home, your daughter comes running up to you.
Yeah. It's the best. Yeah. Now I got 2, and then my other daughter's coming. So
Yeah,
she's like
so
2 months.
touching,
She's
you
2
know.
months old.
So you have 3 children now.
Yeah. 3 under 4.
Incredible. Wow. Just such an awesome thing. So it's so natural as you explain it to be like, hey man, I did that. It was a rad chapter of my life. Not your words, but I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah.
And then now you're at such an awesome time in your life. You have 3 beautiful kids at home, healthy, beautiful children, beautiful wife, you know, your family, you have your brand.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing in that sense as a businessman. Now you've emerged in the world, right? You're basically, you're an entrepreneur and a businessman.
I'm not a business. I mean, I'm learning the
you're
business
learning.
side. I'm more like a passionate surf bulldog.
Well, you still love surfing.
than like a businessman.
It just comes from your love of surfing.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it's an endeavor that is in the business realm.
Yeah.
Right. And so whether you want to categorize yourself as a businessman or not, you are, because you're doing
No,
business,
totally. Yeah.
right?
And I'm dealing with money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to what I was saying about the like transition. I also knew I knew my work ethic. So I knew like, you know, this brand thing, like whatever it takes, I'll figure it out. And I'm not, I always say, so if someone calls me smart, I say, I'm smart enough to know I'm dumb.
It's nice.
So like, you know, I know what I don't know, and then I also want to learn. So it's you know, just pushing forward on that stuff. And I've made a lot of surf movies, so I was like, okay, it's a great way to market, and just, you know, like I said, the art, the photography, all this stuff. I've always been good with the kids, the Groms, the next generation. And that probably goes back to when I hung around with my dad's friends and how cool Taj was to me, how cool Andy was to me, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like, oh, that's like how you do it. You know,
Yeah.
you take care.
You
and,
give back.
yeah, and you just remember their name. Like all
Yeah.
that stuff's great.
And you knew how much it meant to you when Taj remembered your name.
Yes.
That was a moment in your life. He knew my name. Kolohe. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's
My
really
fucking that name I have.
Crazy name.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, just that touches you in the sense to be able to, like, it's like me when we were Groms, the guys at the pier were mean.
Yeah.
It was so gnarly.
Yeah.
And I remember being pretty stoked because they would just accept me to be there.
Yeah, just allow you to be
I
around.
couldn't even be there. Most of my friends couldn't even be there.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they accepted me to be there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to get beat up. They're okay with me. Rad. You know,
Yeah.
I was a wild kid. So they're like, oh, you fit in. But I remember consciously, in a similar sense, feeling like, you know, I'm not going to be that mean when it's my turn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not, I don't have that in my heart.
Yeah.
Like, it just made me feel like I want to grow up and be, you know, I don't want to give it up and just be just give my waves to everybody.
Pussy or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But I want to be like, only if you deserve to be mean to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to just be like,
Just treat people the way you want to be treated.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I also knew that I do deep in my heart that I wanted to travel.
Yeah.
And I felt this kind of connection to the idea that if I'm a big little, my wave,
Yeah.
then how do I go to the other place in the world and get a sort of aloha? You know,
No,
I feel like
anywhere. Yeah.
Cosmically,
Yeah.
I have to be able to be the guy that says, when you come to my wave, you could you could stay at my house.
Yeah.
Right? You're from Australia, from South Africa. I'm not going to be like, beat it, kook.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're a kook, then you're a kook.
Well, it's very small town minded. It's like, because if you go somewhere and you're on the other side of that and it's some like guy who's like, and usually it's the worst surfer that's the fucking asshole.
Right.
And if they're the asshole guy doing that and you watch that from the other side, you're like,
it just,
you're like, what?
it's so weird.
Yeah.
But then again, you get it though, because look at it. I mean, I get it on both sides, because
No,
the other
totally,
side of it is now it's sold out at Ticketron.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like, you just go, man, no one's regulating. There's no fear. There's nothing. It's 1,000 guys.
Yeah.
It's going, oh my God, it's 1,000 guys. It's not 1,000, but it just feels like,
Oh, there would be thousands of people who go to Lowers a day.
oh my
In
gosh,
and out.
like,
You know, what is it? It would be 2,000 people or something.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it feels a little like the other side
Yeah.
now, like where it's just full on, just, you know, and like you said, the parents pushing their kids in, and
Yeah.
like it's just a circus out there. And this is how I relate to it. I'll put it all like this. And I was telling your dad this recently too. I said, you know, when we were growing up at the pier, if we consider that the world is Disneyland, when we grew up at the pier was the Pirates of the Caribbean. But now the pier is Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, it's just, there's no, you know, what I love hearing from your dad and too, and I'm sure I believe you were just up in Santa Cruz. Like he tells me all the time, like Rufo and, you know, Flea and all the boys are just still at the lane.
Yeah.
Still right there, still running it. Yeah, there's more people and there's got to be, you know, a little give or take. But the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, is that they're still, you know, they're there. There's a presence.
No, they're holding it
still
down.
regulating,
Proper.
holding
They're
it down. Yeah.
They kick people out.
Insane.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah.
But the key to that is, and we ascertained after we talked about it a little bit, because the wave there's still good.
Yeah.
It's why you would still be there. It's still a good wave to be at.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm just gonna say,
people care about it.
and they care about
Yeah.
it because it's still a good wave. If that wave fell apart, like the pier fell apart,
Yeah.
not the pier itself. I mean, the pier's still there, but the wave is a fraction of what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It's just not even.
Well, nobody even. I mean,
There's
I
just-
surf there. Like, yeah.
You surf there all the time,
I
but
surf there every day only because nobody surfs it because it's so bad.
exactly. And it's tough for me because, you know, I have such roots at that. It's
Yeah.
just so hard for me. I go there, it makes me emotional because I just, there's no like,
Or there's no vibe.
there's no vibe. There's no one there.
Yeah.
It's just like, and all these tourists walking around and no one knows each other. And it's just the weirdest
It's
thing.
very, yeah.
Cause it used to be such a little hood, like just,
Yeah.
you know, pull up at any time. There's 20 or 30 of the boys. What's up? You know?
Well, all San Clemente used to. I mean, now San Clemente is like whatever.
It's
I call it
so-
Whoville.
Huh?
I call it Whoville.
Whoville?
Yeah, you know,
who?
like the Grinch, and then down where he fucks Christmas up is Whoville. Everyone's just happy, singing, getting
Yeah.
along, loving each other.
100%.
Yeah.
And in that way it's cool, but there's something about just the lack of rawness it's so like skippy and
Yeah.
it's cute, it's beautiful. It's hard to, you know, I understand. People
Well,
drive
maybe
by,
in a
they want to
father,
live here. It's so
like-
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
yeah.
where would you want to raise your kids?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a beautiful
Yeah,
little
you want to
town.
go to Santa Cruz where there's meth heads on every corner?
No.
You know.
Not really, and it's cold, and it's cool to go visit for a week or two. But I mean, in general,
Yeah, I mean that's just what we're talking about.
You're right.
Santa Cruz, and it's
Yeah,
it's
it's got a
I
rawness.
love it. I've thought about buying a house there or whatever, or spending a lot of time there because the waves are so good.
Yep.
And I have so many good friends, and I consider myself a part of the Bartlett family, and like there's
Yes.
different
I
crowds.
think it's your second hometown.
Yeah, and
a way,
and I
right?
go whenever it's good. I'm just always there. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. But then,
It's tough.
there's crackheads everywhere.
It is.
And if you leave your car unlocked, it's almost
sketchy.
guaranteed gonna get stolen or broke. Everyone's had their
that's
car
bad.
broken into, and
That's
it's
a bummer.
It sucks.
Yeah, there's a real element like that there, but it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
They still got the rawness, but they've got a lot of rawness.
Yeah.
Which we did back then too. So it's all cleaned up. I mean, there's still a few homeless people here or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Couple.
I mean,
okay, there's a couple.
there's a few.
There's
Yeah,
one or
it's
two.
Pretty, but
No, but there's like hundreds.
That's
yeah.
a trip. But I mean, what a cool town. We have so many friends there. It's just all respect for Santa Cruz. Just calling it out. It's tough,
Yeah.
Like where San Clemente used to have that vibe, and now it's like Skippy. It's
Skippity-doo-dah,
Skippity-doo-dah. But I mean, to come full circle, I mean, you talked about films that you've made. Can you tell me the titles of the films you've made?
The biggest one I made was Reckless Isolation. That
That
was
was
like the only one
insane.
worth I mean,
proper full film,
yeah,
like film event.
And I think that one, like the further away you get from that, because it was just off of one trip, the further away you get from that trip, or even just premiering it, all that stuff, the more special it becomes, because we got the Mentawais all to ourselves during COVID.
That was insane.
So it was like going to the Mentawais in the 60s or whatever. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with
and you guys scored.
Yeah, scored, and we had the crew, you know, it was like me,
Yeah.
Griffin, Ian, Luke, and Crosby. So
Insane.
like best surfers in the world at the time. Like it was just, yeah,
Insane
modern equipment,
package,
all
yeah.
that stuff. So,
Incredible.
So it was a really special trip. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then, but since, you know, I don't know, maybe there weren't as full surf movies out, but there's been 3 or 4 that you've done.
Yeah, I just did, we just did The Late Great Youth, and then another one called Smooch, and then we did 𝑻𝑗𝑖𝑛𝑥, and then there's been like a bunch of shorts. This is all like surf porn, basically.
Yeah.
It's not like, the Reckless Isolation felt like a real film to me.
Yeah, because it was.
Interviews and stuff,
Yeah.
whereas I love making surf porn.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean, because
Yeah.
it's more like quicker cut, like not as much telling a story as much, right? It's more like surf porn style where you're just like surf candy, just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like everyone, because of the algorithm and the way everything's like placed right now, they all try to like tell a story when it's like nobody really cares or like nobody cares, but also they're not watching it to watch that. And then also the people that might watch that because of the algorithm aren't surfers. Whereas like when I was young, it was just like there was like 5 amazing surf porn videos coming out every year.
Totally.
So there's like maybe 1 a year now or something, or they're unrelatable a lot. I think, you know, like Russell Bjerke just dropped one, and he was like, he's riding like waves that look like the box, but they're like 60-foot faces, and I'm just like, I don't even like. It's so unrelatable. It's amazing, but I'm just like, what are the kids gonna go
emulate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, but then again, it's kind of very specific.
Yes.
Right. So you look, you know, the ones you do have a lot more broad appeal. You know what I was going to ask you is, who's your top 5 favorite surfers of all time?
All time.
All time top 5 favorite.
Is it my favorite, or who I think's the top 5 best?
Your favorite surfers of all time, who you yourself have on your top 5 favorite surfers of all time list.
My favorite surfers growing up was always Taj and Mick. Those were my 2 guys, so I got to put those guys in for sure. Taj and Mick. There's been different stages where I was like, later I became like a big like Jordy Dane guy when they were like doing their thing, and then later like Julian a little bit. He was like the third like kind of wave of those 2-3 guys.
Yeah.
But then once I got competing against them all, I just fucking, for lack of a better word, hated them all. You know, so then I thought they all suck. But now I go watch them back their old footage. I'm like, fuck, they were incredible when I was so comped out with them. Like, because you know, the glasses you have on, you're like, you're watching it and you're like, fuck, I got heat with them next week. And I'm like watching, I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Like, I could do that, all that. That's a shitty song, blah, blah, blah. You know? So
awesome.
So that was a moment, but I don't know if they're in my top 5. I think looking at the lineage of surfing and what came after them, I'd probably have to put Curran in, just because of he's the best surfer of all time's favorite surfer.
Jeez.
Kelly's favorite surfer. And then what came after Kelly is like, you know, it's just the whole everyone.
Yeah.
So
big sparks in the world for sure. Curran and then him.
So then maybe I would go Andy and Kelly, because when Andy and Kelly were doing their thing, I was like leaning more towards Andy, just for whatever reason. But then I like the white wetsuit, so I had a white wetsuit when I was young too.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, and then I was just like, I just thought it was so sick. Like I just never missed a heat.
So sick. So what we have here is, tell me if I'm wrong, we've got Taj and Mick.
Yeah.
We've got Curran.
Yeah.
And we've got Andy and Kelly.
Yes.
Sick.
But that's not the list of who I think's the best surfers of all time.
That's just your favorite surfers of all time.
Yes.
The best surfers of all time is kind of a different thing, right?
Yes.
Best of all time?
Yes.
I want to know who you think the best of all time is,
well,
mister.
The last 2 or 3 are up for debate, but I think it's definitely Kelly number 1.
Okay.
And then it's Curran 2, just because he was Kelly's favorite surfer.
Okay.
And then for me, I think it's John 3, just because of the airs, the Eddie Eye Cow. There was that one year where he like won the Pipe Masters, the Triple Crown, Holly, the Eddie Eye Cow. Like it was just like you're like, and then he did the fucking air at the 20-foot wave. You know, so for me, I think Andy's 3 world titles, so it's equal with it's equal with Curran and Andy and Mick and Gabriel.
Yes, Gabriel has 3 as well.
Yeah. So those 3 guys, I think for me, but then I don't know. It's like Mick, Gabriel, MR.
Damn.
Yeah, so maybe MR.
Shredder.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. MR.
The goal.
Whoa. Jeez. Amazing, crazy surfer.
Yeah. So, and then there's guys that I just like get super psyched on, like a Michael Ho, who's like however old, just like still pulling in a back door.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I actually think he's like maybe 1 year older than me.
Yeah. How old are you?
65. Almost 66.
Yeah. Is he not 70? He's got to be 70.
I don't think he's 70.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's somewhere between me and 70.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So there's those 3. Andy, probably Andy's 4th, because he beat Kelly when Kelly was like really trying his hardest.
Yeah.
He beat Kelly. So like, yeah. I forgot about him.
Can't forget about Andy.
So Kelly, Curran, John, Andy. John and Andy are really close.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you on that.
Really,
That's
really
cool.
close.
That's a good call.
But you know, a lot of people would say Andy just because nostalgia and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it too. And he,
whatever. And John's like new, and you pick a side, whatever.
But they're all
Recency.
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That part's hard to deny.
Then it might be Mick just because of the shark. Did he beat the shit out of a shark?
So crazy. But wow.
Yeah.
There's like the composure that he had.
Yeah, you're like, how do you even think to do that?
Fuck? Like, the thing.
Yeah.
How gnarly was that moment? He's sitting there, and all of a sudden this thing just, like it was huge.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's just so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shark went away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he might have got eaten.
I know. Yeah.
It's just so insane. And plus, him too on a wave.
Well, they said that he was maybe, because it's so shallow there, that maybe it got stuck in his leash.
Oh, yeah.
So then it was all wigged out, and then he was all wham, and he's like, whoa.
It was.
Yeah.
You could see that it kind of yanked on his leash. Like, he was like in the leash kind of thing. What a moment for all that on film, the whole world. Like, and then he's there still to this day, just whap, whap, whap.
I know.
Like, what a rad human.
Yeah.
Mick Fanning, we give it up to all the guys you just mentioned. Such a stellar group of guys. Like, so much respect, so much Grom, Stoke.
Totally.
It's so good to give reverence to them on my show here with Talk to the Doctor and you. And I just want to say, anyway, a little bit more about what you're doing with your brand. I'd love to know more. Because I don't know that much. I don't see that much.
Yeah.
What's it called, by the way?
It's called Stecco.
Stecco.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually pronounced Stecco, but I say Stecco.
Stecco.
My dad likes Stecco better. So
okay, Stecco, Stecco.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick with Stecco because that's kind of where
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, whatever.
And your
I don't know
company,
if I'm. Yeah, whatever.
And it means what?
It means stand firm.
Stand firm.
Yeah, it's a Greek word. It's like a Greek biblical war term.
Rad.
Stand firm.
Oh, that's cool for me. I'm part Greek.
Yeah.
Talk to the doctor.
There you go.
What are we doing with that? Like, is there like, what's the aim in a sense? What are you doing with Stecco?
It's just something, short sentence is something for the kids to gravitate towards.
Cool.
I think right now a lot of the brands feel old and
That's fair.
lazy.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I hold surfing like it all goes back to how much I care about surfing.
Yeah.
But I hold it like very high. I think it should lead art, fashion, music, all the good stuff, in the world. And right now I think it's just like watered down bullshit, the clothes, the fashion. Nobody looks at surfing or a surfer as a cool person
anymore
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's been sad for me to see that happen. Yeah,
yeah, whereas it used to be like they were on a pedestal as like a rock star.
pretty much. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. In certain eras, they were based. Like, let's go all the way back to this a little bit before your time, but like David Nuuva, for instance. He was basically a rock star.
Yes.
I mean, he was in Rolling Stone mag. I mean, I'm just saying, these got Mickey Dora.
Yeah.
Certain guys just going, dude, they were just like,
Or even for me, like a Dane Reynolds.
Yeah. Oh, there
yeah,
you go.
like
Great
an indie rock
Full
star.
on.
You're
Indie
just
rock
like,
star.
Fucking.
Yes.
When I was 14 and he walked down the trail at Lowers, I'm like, fucking there he is, and He had his fucking all his weird denim clothes on, and it was all buttoned sideways. And he had a fucking disgusting painting of his girlfriend, now wife, on his board in all black. And I'm just like, what the like that's a rock star right there.
Yes. Also because it's kind of rebellious.
Yeah.
Like they weren't little following trend, like everything certain trend. It was like guys doing something different, doing it their way.
Yeah.
You know, making a difference in the sense of being an individual. And I feel like when surfing had those rock stars, it was because they were people that, you know, were iconic in the sense they were so individual. They weren't a marketing scheme. They were identified with a true personality that they were. And whatever they were, they just were, to the point where it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Mark Richards earlier. I'm just saying certain guys.
Archie.
It's a great example, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my gosh.
Bruce Irons. Like, yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah. There's never been a bad photo of Bruce Irons.
It's incredible. I think personally,
He's like fucking...
I've actually looked at photos of him. And, you know, I've always thought he seemed like a movie star to me.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yeah.
To me, Bruce Irons is, you know, he's basically a movie star. I mean, to me, it's like they've blown it by they haven't come in and said, hey, Bruce, you want to be in a movie?
Yeah,
Because I feel like he's like got that vibe.
Yes.
To me, he's the surfing version of, I don't know if you remember this guy, Steve McQueen. He's before your time. But he was an actor that, he was a less is more actor.
Yeah.
And he just had this.
Not Marlon Brando?
Well, yeah, he was cool in his own way too, but a little eccentric in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
In the big picture. But no, Steve McQueen was the king of less is more.
Yes.
And so Brando came from the school of interacting where you listen.
Yep.
They were the guys that introduced the modern acting.
Okay.
Okay. And everything before that was cool or whatever. You watch old movies like Humphrey Bogart and those guys. It's, you know, they're just reading script. I mean, but then it's cool.
Yeah.
It's just,
you know way more about this stuff than I do. So thank you.
Yeah. And it's like what he did. So what Steve McQueen did is he was just really a less is more. He didn't say a lot.
Yeah.
He emoted. And he was the coolest guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm saying is.
That's Bruce.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you just go, man. So, I mean, I had been close with Andy forever, but I really never had the chance to meet. Our paths never crossed, me and Bruce, right? And I just met him at this art event a few months ago, and it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I hope to get him in here.
Yeah,
actually.
that'd be sick.
I'm working on trying to get Bruce to come in because I got to say, man, I've never really been I could see the biggest actor in the world and just be like, I'm not really like starstruck type of guy.
Yeah. Is that because of San Clemente?
I don't know. Just even
There's
with
been a
actors,
lot
like
of-
I could probably see Jack Nicholson and not be all, you know,
Did you grow up with your hero? I've always been that way too. And I thought maybe it was just because
well,
what we grew up with around all that stuff, because I just,
yes. If I would have grown up in Mission Viejo, okay, I'd probably be a little more enamored. You know what I'm saying?
if you were in Mission Viejo and you went down to San Clemente and you saw Martin Potter or something, you know, you'd be like, oh my gosh. But but because you grew up around him, maybe.
I mean, shit, when we were 15, because of Midget, who was a surf god.
Yeah.
In our world, that was
Totally.
surf god.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he was rad. He was the real deal. He was so fucking rad that you would get out of the water at the pier just to watch him surf.
Yeah.
You know, it was so gnarly with the localism back then, how he was too. Like, he was the king of the pier. And when you're like 14, you didn't paddle, you surfed the inside.
Yeah.
Him and Greg Rozonko, your friend Tanner's dad.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah.
Number 2 man.
That's his best friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all these guys, where there was like a handful of guys, they ran the pier. Midget was number 1. He got everywhere. Most greedy surfer I've ever seen. Insane. Like, he took every single wave, and then whatever was left, Greg or whoever, like no one ever, Midget got every wave.
Yeah.
And he paddled so fast, he'd get a wave and just blow your mind. He surfed so fast and good. It was just something to watch. Back when people had 6'6", back when a shortboard was a 6'6" single fin.
Crazy.
Midget was on, and guys were like, our friend Danny Moore from town was on like a 7'2" pintail, pulling into deep tubes at the pier constantly on a 7'2".
Yeah.
I mean, waves were different then. But then Midget would be out on like a 5'8".
Oh, he shaped those for himself.
Oh my God.
So you were like, how is he? Yeah.
Just the way he approached you. Okay. And then I've told the story before, but I'll say it real quick. Like, one day, you know, it was the real deal was then you couldn't come out when you're younger. You had to get asked out by Midget.
Yeah.
One day, Midget, me and Marty are inside, and Midget goes, "Hey, Marty." Marty Geishan one of my best friends, a good friend of your dad of mine. He passed away a few years ago. A little sad story, but he was one of the best surfers of our age.
Yeah.
He was the most valuable surfer on the first team at San Clemente High School, which was my year, 1978. First year they had Scholastic Surf. First year was competing against Huntington and Dana Point.
Yeah.
And he got most valuable player that year. So obviously he's a really good surfer, right?
Yeah.
He's about 14 or 15, a midget, hey, Marty, come out.
Yeah.
It's a big moment. You're like, he paddles out, but it's a known thing. You don't go out that day and paddle for a wave still. You sit in the pack.
Yeah.
You're stoked to be a Grom sitting in the pack.
Yeah.
But if you go for a wave, you're done.
Yeah.
So like he didn't do that. So then a day or two later, midget's like, okay, grab one of these, you get a wave.
Yeah.
And if you rip it, now you're in.
Yeah.
Marty, of course, ripped it, and then all the boys let him in. But you never say, hey, to midget, ever.
Yeah.
That was just not what was done. So it's like, it's pretty trippy to know about all these layers of like then you see these kids at these Pop Warner games. Well, you can't, it's like,
Yeah.
So we had this real strong structure, and I feel like it was really good. And so now you push forward and you have this like whole like different era where there's no localism, there's no power, and there's no real sense of, who's deeper, the pecking order.
Who's better, who's older, all that stuff.
It's gone.
Yeah.
So now you got guys, just, it's just kind of no, then you can't do anything because, it's a violent crime. You can't even really say anything.
Yeah. Everything's on camera. Yeah.
So it's a different world now, right?
Totally.
So in the sense of that, what's cool is you get to express your energy through your art, for your brand. You get to express your energy through your love of surfing. Your love of surfing stands tall from super, super young Grom through all the years development, all the way onto the tour. After the tour, look what you do.
Yeah.
You have a surf brand.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid's so stoked. Totally, 31 years old. He can't think about it. Surf every day.
How do I make the industry better? How do I get kids stoked? Whatever, all that stuff.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you know of like Groms coming up?
Like what age? I know all the kids.
But I mean, is like what we talked about, like, when I was this age and all these guys made the final.
Yeah.
Right? And it turned out to be Zeke Lau and you and all these guys,
John,
Carissa and John.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If we were to kind of say, who do you think that's Groms from the world, not just San Clemente, just the world, do you think that will be like, might be mind-blowing, who's the future crazy Groms, if you think there is?
I think our town's got a good, it's got a good future for sure.
Base.
Yeah. What age?
Just Grom, anything up until
well, I think qualify. Crosby's a Grom, so
well, he's already on tour.
Yeah.
So that's funny. No, I mean younger than that, like 15 or younger.
Yeah, we're in great hands. Yeah, I mean we have King Nicol. He's probably the best kid.
King Nicol.
Yeah, that's Hayden Nicol's son.
Well, speaking of being pushed in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
they've all gotten pushed in. It worked.
Dude, his son is fucking so gnarly.
Really?
Yeah. King's the best kid. He's like...
How old is he?
I think he's only 13 or he might be 14 now. But he's probably 130.
Oh.
And he's ripping so hard. Incredible.
Cool.
And he rides like a... Some of the kids look like they're on kid boards. He looks like he's on a miniature...
Man board.
Pro board.
Sick.
Yeah, and he just... Rah, rah, rah. And we're doing this world championship over in Australia. It's like 4 of us or whatever. And there's like a 20 and under. And we're doing a trials for the 20 and under. And I was fighting for him to get a spot in the trials because dude, he's so good. He could win it.
And when you say we're doing, what's going on? Tell me a little about that. What is that?
The contest?
Yeah.
It's like a world so they, the board riders thing.
Yeah. The board riders.
It's kind of a newer thing.
Okay. Where towns surf against towns.
Yeah, towns surf against towns. Dana Point, Huntington, Santa Cruz, New Smyrna. Everyone has a board riders.
Sure.
That came from Australia.
Yes, it did.
So, and the Australians have been doing it forever, I think, since the 60s, which is...
I think since Jesus Christ walked the earth.
Yeah. So, Rabbit Bartholomew has like a world title for towns.
Board riders world title.
Yeah, at Snapper. So you got a 40 and over, you got all ages, you got a 20 and under, and you got a woman.
Okay.
Or girl. So I'm in the all ages. That's where I'm taking that spot for San Clemente.
Sick.
So
to surf Snapper, it's at
to
Snapper?
surf Snapper, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, so that'll be in February. But back to your question about great hands. Zion Walla, Moses Hennings, Henry Mullin, King Nicol. There's just like a bunch of them. So
cool.
Hands. Yeah.
So cool. How old is this Hayden Rodgers kid? Have I heard of him?
He's
Didn't
19.
I see him with you one day or something?
Yeah, he rides for Steko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he's 19?
He sucks.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw him surf with you that one day at the pier, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I've never even seen him surf in big waves. I was going, God, his flow. And I was like, oh, whoa. So, yeah, just pushing a little older at 19. But you think he'll qualify, or does he want to qualify, or what does he want to do?
He wants to qualify.
Sick.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. Yeah.
And I think he's been actively pursuing that.
He got second in Puerto Rico, so that was like a big event.
Cool.
He almost won it.
Where's he at right now?
I think he's like 5th or 4th, and you got to be in the top 7 to make the challenger. You know how all that stuff works?
Yeah. So he's got to go from the qualifier to the challenger, and he's on his way to getting on the challenger.
Yeah.
So you feel like this kid will make the tour?
I think anyone at 19 could do anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great way to.
So I definitely think
anything's possible.
He can.
He's got the talent.
Yes.
Yeah. But the question is, does he have the desire and the drive?
He's incredibly smart. Like, he was a valedictorian out of school.
Really?
Yeah. So he was like a brainiac.
Damn.
He tries to fit in with us.
That's so funny. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, he's that smart.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So I don't know. I don't know if that will get in the way, because it's like, well, whatever, or that's going to work in my heat strategy, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he's an incredible aerialist, and he fucking wants to make the tour, and he rips, and he's doing good. So it's awesome.
So cool. I mean, there's so much talent coming up, right? And they're doing amazing things. I mean, I'm seeing stuff in these wave pools. I don't even know half these,
You're like, what's that maneuver? I mean,
it just looks like they're able to start perfecting. I think now I'm kind of found myself going, okay, you guys are crushing it and doing these like in a skate park, teach, fine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now we got to see that translated to the real ocean.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's great training ground.
There's a lag or delay. Yeah.
To get from that to actually be the guy that's super sick at everything from bells, which is kind of a weird wave, but is it weird? I mean, Winky's right.
I don't know. I'm easily amused. I'm like easy to please. So I think,
it's a fun wave.
I think all the waves are good.
Yeah. It's just some waves. It's not like, it's not J-Bay. Let's put it that way. It's not J-Bay.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I've always tripped on bells. I don't know why I brought it up, but the top part of the wave goes like, it's just kind of.
The top is steep and the bottom is flat. It's a weird thing.
Like, yeah.
But then the wave ranch is the opposite.
Yeah.
The wave ranch is steep at the bottom, but then flat at the top.
That's so weird.
I couldn't ever try to. Both those waves were hard for me, but whatever.
Yeah, they look a little odd, like hard to figure out like where to. Whereas like even Winky is such a rippable wave.
It's just straightforward, 3 good turns, kind of like uppers or whatever.
Super sick, yeah. So I just got to say, man, I'm super psyched to have you on Talk to the Doctor, mister.
Thanks.
And,
Ramble
thanks
on.
for coming in, brother.
No worries. Yeah, that was fun. Solve the world's problems.